Hello, this is Coffee Break with Ninita, a daily guide of coping skills that gets us through by making us strong. We feel that our spouse or our partner is our enemy. What has happened is that we have stopped being. When we are in a bad place, in other words, when we are what here in StayWHOLE we call half hurting or angry or feeling lonely or frustrated and having fears, we tend to take a defensive position. We are in survival mode. And by that I mean that automatically we are looking for someone to be quote unquote our enemy. In a relationship, very often we become each other's enemy. And that would not cause that much damage, except the fact that words that come out of our mouth when we are in such a half state have unfortunately a lot of power. Someone would say that they are alive, meaning after being spoken, they stay with the other person. After we express whatever we want to express, thinking that we are addressing what is wrong, the way we deliver our message, the words we use, the statements and the sentences we make to express our feeling usually comes alive and starts eating up the relationship, destroying the relationship. And even though our attempt is to make our point get across, what actually happens is we're talking to our partner, our spouse, hearing from us criticism, blaming, and automatically those kinds of words position our partner, our spouse, in a defensive place where they start reacting to what we said. And even though we might be trying to make our point get across, to express our needs, what they hear is we don't like them, we cannot stand them, they are our enemy. And they, in turn, take that position, the position of being our enemy. We call that reaction. And a lot of times it is the effects of the words spoken in the attempt to get our point across that becomes our worst enemy. That instead of advocating and helping us get the point across, making us the bad guy. Do you know what it is when you start trying to make your point clear to the other person? The very same words you use to actually become the cause of more problems. This is what happens. And then we end up becoming the bad guy in the eyes of the other person. And of course, that causes us to be more upset and have stronger emotions. And it is a domino effect. The words that are being spoken, both positive and negative, words that express love, attention, affection, appreciation, and words that express disappointment, hurt, frustration, and fears, they have something in common. Once they are received, they become alive and they start eating up, heard me correctly, they start eating up the relationship. The reason why I'm bringing this up is because I want, when you have a situation at home with your spouse, with your partner, with your family member, sound ugly, bad, broken, and you find yourself wanting to get out, to leave such a terrible situation, I want you to remember one thing. What makes you feel the way you do is not each other, but the words spoken. And very often the words spoken transform the relationship into something that is so far from who you are, who your spouse is. It distorts that we are, it distorts that we are relating to. Very important message I want to convey to you. The words we use, and sometimes we feel that it is just words. We say them in a moment of anger, in a moment of hurt, in a moment of fear. We have to do a better job being more careful of what we say, and also do a better job processing what is being said in a tense moment by the other person to us, and not let it impact the way it does by trusting the words more than the relationship. There are ways that we can correct the damage, or we can stop the damage that such words cause in relationships. It is like a wound. Very often, like when we have an accident and we get cut, we're able to stop the bleeding. But depending on how deep the cut is, we might be able to stop the bleeding fairly fast, but we cannot get rid of the scar fairly fast. And it is the scar that lasts and causes the wound to be remembered. The same way in the relationship, the words are the knife, and it causes wounds. But when the words cut deeply, those wounds, even after the initial reaction subsides, scars that remind us of what happened, of what was said. There are ways of treating those scars, and this is what we are going to talk about on Friday. Make sure you don't miss it.
We thank you for listening to Coffee Break with Ninita. Our goal is to help our StayWHOLE community work through their challenges. Please join this cause by supporting us on Patreon. You can do that for the price of just 1 cup of coffee per month. Just click on the Patreon link in the podcast description below, or simply visit us at www.patreon.com/StayWHOLE. We appreciate you and hope we can help you stay whole.